Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev has challenged the legitimacy of Turkey's airstrikes against Kurdish militants in the north of Iraq. Medvedev says although the U.S.-led coalition against ISIL was created by sidestepping the UN Security Council, at least it received the approval of the Iraqi government. The Russian leader noted that the U.S. and its coalition members expanded their aerial campaign into Iraq without the consent of Damascus. Medvedev, who was speaking to an Arab daily, added that there is serious doubt about the legitimacy of such attacks. Therefore, Medvedev argued that Turkey's attacks on militants from the Kurdistan Workers' Party are illegitimate and cannot be justified on the same grounds. To discuss that, we're now joined by Mr. Christopher Walker, who is a political commentator, joining us live now via Skype from London. Mr. Walker, how do you feel about Prime Minister Medvedev's comments there?
Well, I think it's taking even more seriously than recently Russia's disapproval of Turkey's activities, and a warning sign to Turkey that the Soviet people, the Russian people, are going to not let them get away with switching their attacks against Kurdish camps in a fraught area. Don't forget, this follows only days after Mr. Putin, Vladimir Putin, summoned the Turkish ambassador in Moscow and issued him with a really severe warning about the security behavior against ISIS that was being pursued by him. And it does mean that Turkey is under threat now from Russian sanctions. I think they haven't been mentioned, but it does get discounted gas from Russia, and that if this goes on, they could take action in that stead. They could also, of course, they're on the five-member UN Security Council. They could organize a strong diplomatic action against what the Turks are up to in that fraught corner of northern Iraq where the attacks are taking place.
And Mr. Walker, how legitimate is that point made by Prime Minister Medvedev about, attacking a country? When he spoke about the U.S.-led coalition against ISIL, he said at least that had some approval from the Iraqi government, but this Turkish move in Iraq doesn't even have that.
Yeah, I think that's a very bull point. There are arguments, of course, all the time about who's approved what action, but there's no doubt at all that in this way the Turks are open to criticism. And there have been other international diplomats who've been saying that their whole policy in that area of the world has got very, very unsubstantiated and difficult, and could cause big trouble for Erdogan in Ankara.
Okay, we'll leave it there at that point. But as always, Mr. Walker, we do appreciate you taking your time out to speak to us. That was Christopher Walker, who had been speaking to us live from London.